So Tongren is situated in a very small bowl. Well, you say small, it's surrounded by a load of mountains and it has a subtropical climate, which means during the summer months, like we are now, it gets pretty humid and pretty hot. So that's where all the sweating comes from. Don't forget to bring a tiny bit of deodorant. But like everything, there's a silver lining. And for us, it's the lush foliage that you can find everywhere here.
During the annual International Dragon Boat Festival, you'll get the vibe that the whole of Tongren is geared up solely for this one event. Whether it be supporting the local team, performing in the many shows, making pieces that will feature in the show, or even participating down on the river. We've done the Dragon Caves today, and we're waiting for the Dragon Boat competition to kick off. But there's an old Chinese myth that states that the dragons are in fact the ones who control the water. So let's hope they're feeling generous today.
So there's a rather large disparity between the Eastern and Western views on the dragon. In the West, it is feared, and it's certainly not the animal of choice that you would bring to a dinner party. However, it's a completely different story in the East, and in China in particular, where it is revered and seen as a symbol of power, strength, and an ability to protect, which is why many emperors throughout the ages would use the dragon as their very own symbol to show them as a higher power. Now, many Chinese also believe that their spirits are descended from the dragon. That's to do with the makeup, where it's made up of lots of different animals. We've got eagle claws, we've got fish scales, snake-shaped bodies, amongst other things. Now, it's not a surprise that here in Tongren, we're celebrating the dragon during the Dragon Boat Festival in such a way.
Should be said that not even a torrential downpour in the morning deterred the crowds from coming in their thousands. Hanging on to every patch of ground along the river, they were rewarded for their determination with a 5-hour boating and visual spectacular. This event is as much about everything that goes on around it than it is about the actual racing itself. There were a whole host of dress rehearsals and intricate choreography that went into planning this, to make this the event of the year for Tongren people. The history of the dragon boats can be traced all the way back to 287 BC, when the old state of Chu, which covered modern-day northern Hunan, was under siege. The invaders were the Qin armies that would later bring the whole of China under their rule. At the time, an exiled poet and politician of Chu, named Xu Yuan, heard of his fellow people's plight. A victim of court intrigue, he nonetheless remained a great patriot. And rather than see the state he loved conquered, he picked up a heavy stone and threw himself into the Mi Luo River. Distraught, the local people rushed to save him in their boats, but were too late. They returned later to scatter zongzi, which were packets of meat and sticky rice wrapped in reeds and lotus leaves. They beat drums and splashed the water with their paddles in order to keep the fish and evil spirits away from his body. The legend has it that the scattering of the zongzi was to prevent him from going hungry, though another belief is that the people scattered rice to feed the fish in order to prevent them from devouring the. The Dragon Boat Festival, held here in Tongren and throughout China on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, around June or July, commemorates the rowers' hopeless rescue bid.
So the reason we've all come to Tongren for the International Dragon Boat Race. Yesterday was the festival, today's the competition. Over 2,000 years of history, and it's going to be a cracker. Have a look.
我们的队员们是一桨一桨的好繁复的在划基金前力，你现在刚才在画了这两个时候，我曾经见过这两只龙。
These fierce competitions are held throughout China at this time between local and international dragon boat teams. They can be seen training in their narrow, powerful craft for months before the event, to the steady boom of a drum dictating the speed and tempo they should follow. The races themselves only last a few minutes, but there's a whole paraphernalia of rituals and activities that must be gone through in and around the boats, during and after the race. So don't worry, it's a real spectator sport. All in all, the real charm of Guizhou, and Tongren in particular, is the off-the-beaten-track feel. For all you more intrepid travellers out there, I hope that this is a call to arms. Add in the fact that more often than not, you'll have the track to yourself. Then you really get the sense of venturing into the unknown. And just in case that's not enough, then remember all the ethnic minorities living here. They bring a huge amount of colour to Guizhou and its social calendar. In fact, Guizhou celebrates more folk festivals than any other province in China. So head on down to southwest China's hidden gem and the gateway to Guizhou. The International Dragon Boat Festival is a wonderful event that can draw a few parallels with the famous varsity boat race between Oxford and Cambridge, or even Henley Regatta. It's full of team spirit, with each rower needing to be at the top of his game for the good of the team. In Tongren, it did feel like it was really about taking part rather than the winning. But if anything, as a tourist, it's also just a good laugh to go down there and enjoy the atmosphere.
So I managed to find a quiet little spot with which to wrap up the show. I hope you've enjoyed discovering Tongren with its dragons, dragon boats and dragon boat festival, amongst other things. It really is Guizhou's hidden little secret. I'm Mark Edwards, and I'll catch you very soon on another episode of Travelogue.